Here on Doc on Radio, we are shining.
ẹ bá mi pè é o. àfíjù kí lorúkọ rẹ̀. àfíjù rédíò. àfíjù gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́. àfíjù gbogbo èèyàn ló ń wo. àfíjù lórí WhatsApp. àfíjù Instagram. àfíjù Facebook. àfíjù lórí X. àfíjù lórí YouTube. àfíjù lórí TikTok. àfíjù kí lorúkọ rẹ̀. àfíjù ẹ bá mi pè é o.
Wherever you're listening or watching Radio Afiju, the time is 3 p.m.
First, a look at the highlights. SERAP gives CBN 48 hours to withdraw unlawful unfair hike in ATM transaction fees. Mauritius ex-Prime Minister arrested in money laundering probe. Thousands take part in London rally against Donald Trump's Gaza plan. Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on Radio Afinju. My name is Pearl Durotoye. The news in detail. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, to use his leadership position to immediately withdraw the patently unlawful, unfair, unreasonable and unjust increase in automated teller machine transaction fees. SERAP urged them to ensure that the exercise of CBN statutory powers and functions does not inflict misery on poor Nigerians and contribute to human rights abuses. The CBN recently announced that ATM withdrawals made at a machine owned by a bank but outside its branch premises will now attract a charge of 100 naira per 20,000 naira withdrawn. ATM withdrawals at shopping centres, airports or standalone cash points will incur a 100 naira fee plus a surcharge of up to 500 per 20,000 naira withdrawal. Banks are advised to apply the increased ATM fees with effect from March 1, 2025. In the open letter dated 15th February 2025 and signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization said the manifestly unlawful, unfair, unreasonable and unjust increase in ATM transaction fees will hit hardest those at the bottom of the economy and exacerbate the growing poverty in the country. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has raised an alarm that the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Gboyega Oyetola, is planning to cause mayhem in the state from Monday, February 17, 2025. Adeleke made the allegation during a press conference on the upcoming local government elections earlier today. It was gathered that Oyetola is spearheading moves to enforce a court order which reversed the sack of local council chairman elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state.
I call this press conference to alert the national global audience about a deliberate plot to create chaos and anarchy in Osun State. I invite you all to expose a faceless anti-democratic agenda designed to enforce a non-existing court judgment on our local government. This evil plot is being spearheaded by the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Gboyega Oyetola, in active collaboration with Osun State Commissioner of Police, the Osun State Director of DSS, and the State Commandant of the Civil Defense Corps. Before I continue this address, let me affirm that I know Mr. President to be a true Democrat, a lover of rule of law, and a believer in the sanctity of the judicial process. I know, as a matter of fact, that Mr. President will never authorize a dictatorial violation of the Constitution irrespective of who is involved. It is crucial to add that Mr. President will never support any action that is capable of generating bloodbath and bloodshed.
In a speech, Adeleke alleged that the former governor is conspiring with several law enforcement agents, including the State Commissioner of Police and the State Director of the Department of State Services, to destabilize the state. The National Association of Road Transport Owners has expressed fear over the federal government's plan to ban 60,000 litres capacity tankers following the rise in cases of accidents involving fuel tankers. NATO President Yusuf Othman, in an interview with newsmen in Abuja earlier today, said such a move would cause a loss of about 300 billion naira worth of investments by the tanker owners. Reports that the federal government, through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, is considering placing a ban on 60,000 litres capacity petroleum tankers due to incessant accidents and deaths involving them in the country. The NMDPRA had proposed a restriction of petroleum tankers' capacity to a maximum of 45,000 litres to reduce accidents cases, explosion and fatalities. The regulator is of the view that the non-compliance with the established safety measures has led to the recurrence of these accidents. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has intensified its enforcement efforts against the sale of illicit and counterfeit pharmaceuticals, selling over 3,000 shops within the Idumota open drug market in Lagos in the first week of operations. This was made known in a statement shared on X on Saturday by NAFDAC. During the raid, officials uncovered alarming violations, including vaccines stored in dilapidated, unventilated rooms sealed with iron sheets, posing severe health risk. Large consignments of banned and dangerous drugs were also discovered, including analgesic injections, diverted HIV antiretroviral drugs, and expired medicines slated for illegal revalidation. The Anambra State Police Command has arrested one Christian Ndubuisi in connection with the fatal stabbing of his elder brother during an altercation. The incident has sparked renewed calls for peaceful conflict resolution within communities. In a statement released earlier today, police spokesman Tochukwu Ikenga confirmed that Ndubuisi was apprehended on Saturday by police operatives attached to the 3 Divisional Headquarters following a report of the incident. The Commissioner of Police expressed his condolences, describing the situation as a tragic reminder of the need for conflict resolution and anger management. Away from Nigeria, former Mauritius Prime Minister Pravind Jugnauth has been arrested and is facing money laundering charges. According to the state-run Financial Crimes Commission spokesperson, Ibrahim Rosaye, Jugnauth was arrested and will be detained in Mocha Detention Center in Mocha District in central Mauritius. The arrest followed searches by FCC detectives of different locations, including Jugnauth's residence, during which they found and seized 114 million Mauritius rupees. Jugnauth's lawyer, Raouf Gulbo, told reporters earlier today that his client has been provisionally charged in an alleged case of money laundering. Gulbo said his client denied the charges. The country's former central bank governor was detained last month and released on bail after he was charged with conspiracy to commit fraud. Rwandan-backed M23 rebels advanced earlier today into the center of Bukavu, the second largest city in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, meeting little resistance from government troops. This was confirmed by eyewitnesses and the armed group. The rebels have been seeking to seize the strategic city since taking the city of Goma in late January. Bukavu's fall, if confirmed, marks the armed group's most significant advance since it revived a decade-old insurgency in East Congo in 2022. Late on Saturday, the Congolese presidency said the provincial capital remained under the control of its troops and allied forces, but by early Sunday morning, the rebels had advanced into central Bukavu, according to residents and a local official, speaking on condition of anonymity due to security concerns. In Asia, 10 women and 3 children were among at least 18 people killed in a crowd rush at a train station in India's capital, New Delhi, as thousands of Hindu pilgrims waited to board trains to attend the annual Mahakumbh Mela religious festival. The incident unfolded on Saturday night at about 8 p.m. local time on 2 platforms at the New Delhi railway station as huge crowds waited to board trains to Prayagraj city, where the festival is being held, some 624 kilometers southeast of the capital. Delhi's Chief Minister Atishi initially told reporters that 15 people had died, while other reports later updated the death toll to 18 people. India's Minister of Railways, Ashwini Vaishnaw, said 4 trains had been deployed to evacuate a sudden and unprecedented surge of travelers at the station, and an investigation has been ordered to find out what went wrong. Existing homes in the country for 2 years, according to its government, in an effort to boost under-pressure housing supply. Treasurer Jim Chalmers said in a statement with Housing Minister Claire O'Neill. It added that a review would be undertaken on whether the ban would be extended. Dissatisfaction with housing in Australia reached an all-time high last year, and it is an issue that is expected to dominate a general election due by May. O'Neill said in comments to the press that the ban would likely free up around 1,800 properties per year for local buyers. In Europe, youths to meet Russian officials in Saudi Arabia in the coming days for talks aimed at ending the war in Ukraine. The officials told reporters America's top diplomat will be joined by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and the U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff. U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, was not invited. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Kyiv had not been invited to the talks in Saudi Arabia. amid European concern that the US is moving ahead on peace talks with Russia without consulting the continent. Ukraine's European allies will gather in Paris next week for an emergency being involved. Still in Europe, Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said Russian drone strikes have damaged a thermal power plant in Mykolaiv in southern Ukraine overnight, leaving 46,000 consumers without heating as temperatures plunged below freezing. Russia attacked Ukraine with 143 drones overnight, but the Ukrainian military said it shot down 95 of them, while 46 did not reach their targets, likely thanks to the use of electromagnetic countermeasures that disrupt drone attacks. Ukrainian officials said at least one person was injured in the overnight attacks, which also damaged houses in the Kyiv region. The temperature in Mykolaiv is expected to fall to minus 7 degrees Celsius Sunday night. In the Americas, thousands of pro-Palestine demonstrators have marched through central London to protest Donald Trump's proposal for the United States to take over the Gaza Strip. Waving Palestinian flags and brandishing placards saying "Hands off Gaza," several thousand people walked from Whitehall in Westminster to the U.S. Embassy in Nine Elms in southwest London on Saturday. Protesters also held banners that read "Stand up to Trump" and "Mr. Trump, Canada is not your 51st state, Gaza is not your 52nd." Earlier this month, Trump's suggestion that the U.S. could redevelop the embattled enclave and turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East attracted global condemnation. His proposal aims to resettle Palestinians elsewhere with no plan for them to return. Still in the Americas, Argentine President Javier Milei could face an impeachment trial in Congress, opposition lawmakers said after the libertarian leader touted a cryptocurrency, which crashed soon after. Milei late on Friday posted on X recommending the little-known crypto coin Libre, which soon after shot up to nearly $5 a piece. Just hours later, the cryptocurrency plummeted to under $1. Argentina's fintech chamber acknowledged that the case could potentially be a rug pull in which the developers of a crypto token draw legitimate investment, pumping up the value only to later dump their stake. Milei deleted the post on X, with local media saying the post had been up for a few hours on Friday night. He later said he took down his post after becoming aware of the circumstances and that he had no relation to the cryptocurrency. In the Middle East, Israel has received a shipment of heavy Mk-84 bombs from the United States after President Donald Trump of the United States lifted the block imposed on the export of the munitions by the administration of his predecessor, Joe Biden. The Israeli Defense Ministry said this on Sunday, adding that the Mk-84 is an unguided 2,000-pound bomb which can rip through thick concrete and metal, creating a wide blast radius. Recall that the Biden administration declined to clear them for export to Israel out of concern about the impact on densely populated areas of the Gaza Strip. According to the Israeli Defense Minister, Israel Katz, the Biden administration sent thousands of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel after the October 7, 2023 attack by the Palestinian militants Hamas from Gaza, but later held up one of the shipments. It's gathered that the hold was lifted by Trump last month. An Israeli airstrike killed 3 policemen east of Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip today, the Hamas-run Interior Ministry said, calling it a breach of the fragile January 19 ceasefire. It said the policemen were deployed in the area to secure the entry of aid trucks into Gaza. The ministry said in a statement, condemning the crime, and called upon the mediators and the international community to compel the occupation to stop targeting the police force, which is a civil apparatus. The Israeli military said the strike targeted several armed individuals who were moving toward forces deployed near the area, and hits were identified. It's called on all residents of Gaza to adhere to army instructions and refrain from approaching Israeli troops deployed in the area. Now talking sports, Uganda's Jacob Kiplimo has become the first person to break the 57-minute barrier for the half marathon, clocking a stunning new world record time of 56 minutes 42 seconds in Barcelona. The 24-year-old set the record at the World Athletics Gold Label Road race earlier today. Kiplimo is a 2-time world cross-country champion who held the half marathon record from 2021 to 2024. He reclaimed it by slashing 48 seconds off the previous record of 57 minutes 30 seconds set by Ethiopia's Yomif Kejelcha in Valencia in October. Racing in ideal weather conditions of 13 degrees Celsius with no wind, Kiplimo also set a world best of 39 minutes 47 seconds for 15 kilometers en route to the half marathon record. Before we go, here again are the highlights. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, to use his unreasonable and unjust increase in automated teller machine transaction fees. Former Mauritius Prime Minister Pravin Gordhan has been arrested and is facing money laundering charges. And in the Americas, thousands of pro-Palestine demonstrators